Hi everybody, I'm very happy to be working with the very creative Haniela from Haniela's YouTube channel, and she's made these adorable Santa Claus cupcakes. Check out the link to her video for the full tutorial. Hi everybody, this is Laura with Krazy Cool Cakes, and today I'm going to be teaching you all how to make this beautiful Santa Claus themed cupcake topper. This one here is my favorite that we've made this Christmas season, and I know you're going to enjoy making this. All your friends and family are going to love seeing these on your cupcakes. So let me show you all the supplies and materials that you're going to need to create this. For my cupcake toppers, I like to make my fondant circles with a 2 1/4 inch in diameter circle cutter. You're of course going to need a rolling pin to roll out your gum paste. You will need gum paste in all of these colors. You're going to need a little bit of white, a tiny amount of black, a little bit of ivory for Santa's face, some red for his hat, and of course a little bit of green or any other color you choose for your fondant circle. Okay, you'll also need a blade. It doesn't necessarily have to be a straight blade like this one. You can use an X-Acto knife if you wish. You will need some edible glue and a brush for your edible glue. You'll also need some type of a straight edge. I like to use this knife tool that comes with the shell tool from Wilton. You'll need a medium-sized ball tool, a very small ball tool, and to add our finishing touches, this is not absolutely necessary, but if you'd like to add a little bit of shimmer to your Santa, you can use a little bit of pearl dust and a little brush for your pearl dust, and for a little bit of glow on Santa's nose, some bright white gel food coloring. I like to use Americolor, and you can use a little tiny head pin, okay, to blot the little dot on the nose. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm starting just by kneading this beautiful green gum paste, and this is made using Wilton's Leaf Green. You don't need to worry too much about getting all the cracks and wrinkles out. Rolling it with your rolling pin pretty much gets rid of all of the wrinkles and cracks. When I roll out the gum paste for my cupcake toppers, I don't like them to be very thick, usually just about 1/8 of an inch. So I'll show you the thickness of the gum paste. I'm almost done rolling it out. So that's about how thick it needs to be. Okay, really not thick at all. So, beautiful green. Take my circle cutter. Just cut out one little circle. Alright, so I'm going to set this off to the side just for a second while I start working on my Santa Claus. For Santa's face, we're going to need a very small amount of ivory gum paste, and you want to just get this warmed up in your hands. And what we're going to do is roll it up in a little ball, and make sure that you roll it to the point where you have absolutely no cracks or wrinkles in your gum paste. This ball, once it's rolled out, should only be about 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Okay? Then what you're going to do is place it on your tabletop, and you're going to gently, with your fingers, only press the sides down. You want the sides to be flush with your tabletop. So basically we are flattening the bottom. And I'll show you what it looks like from the side so you can see just how flat you need to get that. And this is all we need for Santa's face. So you can see from the side there it's pretty flat at the bottom. Okay. Now we're going to put our little gum paste circle back in the middle of the frame here, and I've actually just put this on a little sheet of parchment paper so it doesn't stick to my silicone mat. And you will now need your edible glue and your brush. It takes very little edible glue, and just place a little bit of glue at the bottom of Santa's face. And we're going to place this not exactly in the middle, but a little bit more towards the top of your circle. Okay? So you'll see there's more room down here than there is up here. And then just gently press it down. While the gum paste is still fresh, we're going to go ahead and make the little holes for Santa's eyes. And for this you will take your small ball tool, or smaller ball tool, and you're going to just make 2 holes near the top part of the eye every circle. And you want them to be kind of close to each other. There's one. And there's the other one. And you want to just gently widen just a tiny little bit, just to widen Santa's eyes a little bit. Okay, that looks very cute. Okay, then we want to give him a little bit of wrinkles on the sides of his eyes. So for this, you will take your straight edge. Okay, I'll have to hold this up just a little bit, and you want to place the point of the knife tool inside the hole, and we're going to make just 2 little wrinkles on the side of the eye, and they're going to be at an angle. So the first one will be at the top, and then the next one near the bottom. Okay, you can see that having done that distorted the circle of the eye, so I'm just gonna go back in there very carefully with my ball tool and round it out again. For the other side, I like to completely turn it around, and same thing with my knife tool. The first little wrinkle at an angle right there, and the other one right there. Very easy to do, and this adds a lot of little character to the eyes. Let's round it out again. So you can see he's already taking shape. Okay, now we're gonna add Santa's very large beard. For Santa's beard, I'm now needing a very small amount, maybe just a little bit more than what we did for the ivory for Santa's face, and the white is gonna be for his beard. So once again, roll it into a ball just to get all the cracks and wrinkles out. The amount that you'll need of white gum paste is exactly 1 inch in diameter, the ball, okay? So here we have our ball with no cracks or wrinkles. We're gonna place it on the table, and I'm just gonna roll it into a tube, okay? So even more. And the length of this tube here is about 2 inches, okay? Maybe a little bit more. And then what you're gonna do is take your finger and you're going to press it down. And you're not flattening it completely, because as you can see, Santa's beard is nice and fluffy. Okay, so you don't wanna flatten it completely. Once you're done pressing it down, that's about how thick your worm should be. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is you're going to lift it up with your hands, hold it in your hands, place it on your table, and you are going to press it in a V shape. Okay, I like to pinch the ends, pinch the other end. Okay, and as you can see here, I like this little pointy end at the bottom of his beard. So take your thumbs and make a fine point at the bottom of the V. And now what we're gonna do is bring our Santa face, and we're gonna mold it around the face just to give it some shape. Okay. Press it in to hide as much as possible of the chin here. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that shape there. So now we want to make sure it's secure, and we're going to glue it in place. So let's unstick it. Okay, and now we're going to take our edible glue, and you don't need a lot, just add glue where you know it's going to be stuck to his face, and especially here on the ends that we pinched a little bit, and just a tiny little bit at the bottom of the beard where it will be glued to the green circle. Okay, so carefully align your Santa's face and place the beard around his face and close it in. Once again, pinch the bottom of the beard and press this in just a tiny little bit, just to give his beard a little bit more volume. So there is Santa's beard, okay? Now we're gonna go ahead and make his 2 little white pieces of mustache. So for that, we're just gonna take a very small amount of gum paste. Really, you just need 2 little balls about the size of a pea shape. So I'm gonna go ahead and knead a little bit of gum paste. And I'm gonna take 1 little ball. And this might even be a little bit too much, but I guess we'll find out in a little bit. Okay. And then place it on your tabletop, and let's make a long teardrop shape or a cone. Little fat cone. Okay. And let's test it out. Let's just see how that looks. So if you notice here in my actual Santa, this little piece of mustache is covering completely any gap. Okay, so you shouldn't be able to see any part of Santa's face between the little pieces of mustache. So let's just see how this looks. Okay. That looks about right, that size, okay? So since I know that I'm happy with this size, what I'm gonna do is roll this back up, and now I'm going to roll a second ball that will be the exact same size as this one, and that way I make sure that both parts of his mustache are the exact same size. Okay, so now I have 2 little white balls, the exact same size. Okay, we're gonna roll them into a very small teardrop or cone shape. And the way you do this is by applying more pressure on one side of the ball and holding your finger at an angle. Okay. You don't want to make the tip of the teardrop too pointy, because again, we want to make sure that Santa has a nice full mustache. Okay, let's go ahead and do the same for the second piece of Santa's mustache. Once you learn how to make these, you'll see how very quickly you can create many of these little Santa Claus cupcake toppers. Okay, very cute. Make sure that both of your pieces of mustache are the same size. So those look pretty much the same to me. So let's move those out of the way. And I'm gonna bring Santa's face back into the picture. And what we're gonna do now is just gently tap down on your pieces of mustache just to get a flat bottom. And you can see here that his little mustache curves a little bit upward. So before we even add glue, let's go ahead and curve it ourselves, and now we can just stick it on there when we're done. So that looks about right. Okay. Now I'm gonna turn it over, and I'm gonna add a little bit of glue to the back of this piece of mustache. If you all would like to learn how to create edible glue, we have an awesome tutorial on our YouTube channel. It's very easy to do. Turn it over, and we will place Santa's mustache right on. Okay, and give it that little angle, that little curve. Make sure that this larger part of the mustache is even. Okay, should be in the center of the face. Okay, let's do the same thing with the second piece, and let's give it that little curve or curl that we need. Turn it over and add a little bit of glue to the back of that. Okay. And let's make sure these 2 pieces of mustache meet right in the center. Now for Santa's nose, we're gonna take a very small amount of ivory colored gum paste, and we're gonna roll it into a little ball. Make sure it has no cracks or wrinkles. Okay. And as you can see here on this Santa, it's not a perfect circle. It's more of a little oval shape or a little capsule shape. And you want it to be big enough to where it's both on the mustache and on his face. So I'm going to just take the ball here and just roll it to give me that little capsule or little oval shape. Okay, just like that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the nose and I'm gonna actually place it on there so that it can get the little dents that it needs. And that way I know exactly where to add the glue. Okay, so that looks adorable already. Okay. So go ahead and lift it. Now you can see the two little dents that were created by the mustache. So take a little bit of glue and just add glue to where it's touching the mustache and the face. Turn it back over. And I'm gonna place it right back on there how it was. That is so cute already. Now for Santa's eyes, you're gonna need a tiny little amount of black gum paste. And really small, okay? And then you just need to roll out two tiny little balls. Make sure they fit nice and snug inside the socket. Once you're happy with the size of the ball, you go ahead and take a little bit of edible glue and glue it inside the socket. Take your little eyeball and just drop it in. So you can see that it's not really protruding that much out of the socket. It's just a nice little dome shape barely sticking out of the eye socket, okay? So make sure you roll out a second little ball, the same exact size for the second socket. I'll go ahead and drop that in there. Okay. And take a good look at it and make sure that both of the eyes look the same. Very, very cute. Alrighty, now let's make his hat. For this, you're gonna take a little bit of red gum paste, kneaded, and we wanna roll it into a ball until we have no more cracks or wrinkles. This ball, if you wanna know, is exactly 3/4 of an inch in diameter, okay? So then what you're gonna do is you're going to put it down on your work surface and we're going to roll it into a long teardrop shape. I would say about 1.5 inches long, all right? Now what you're gonna do is take your thumb or finger, whichever of your fingers is the fattest, and then just press it down. Widen the bottom. This is gonna be the part that is up against his head. And then what I like to do is actually press this part up. This is the part that's gonna go on his head, and then just create a little dent there in the middle. Okay? Kind of like a long little gnome hat. Okay. Now you're going to take your Santa. Make sure he's nice and straight. And let's just check. That looks cute even if you left it like that. Okay? But we're not going to leave it like that. So pinch the sides of the hat down. And then what you're going to do is create a bend. So take the whole top of the hat and just bend it down, just like that. Okay. Then you can see here that Santa has these cute little creases and wrinkles where the hat bends. So take your straight edge, your knife tool, and just create a few little dents. Just so it looks like a nice, natural wrinkle. Okay. Now, we're gonna go ahead and place this on Santa's hat and we are gonna glue it. Just make sure that you do not glue this tip of the hat because as you can see here, the red part of the hat actually is gonna go on top of this white part of Santa's hat, okay? So we're gonna glue everything but. So go ahead and flip your little red hat over, take your edible glue, and we only need a little bit right here at the bottom, and a tiny little bit on the part that's gonna be wrapped around his head, okay? Place it on there, okay, press it down, and gently press it up against his head. And go ahead and pinch this down again. You want to aim for the majority of the hat fitting on the circle. Okay. That's so cute. If your wrinkles got messed up, just go back in there. Who would not love that on their cupcake? Alright, so let's go ahead and add the white brim of the hat and the little bowl at the end of the hat. For the white fluffy brim of Santa's hat, we're going to knead out a little bit of white gum paste. Okay, roll it out into a ball. Again, this is about 3/4 of an inch in diameter. And we're going to roll it into a long fat tube. About 2 inches in length. And we will be trimming the ends of it, so make sure you have your blade handy. Okay? Then you're going to take your finger and gently press it down. And you are not flattening it completely, you're just flattening it a little bit. You still want it to be about that thick, okay? Now, what we're gonna do is take your ball tool and we're gonna create a bunch of little dents just to make it look or make it appear as if it's fluffy. Fluffy material. Make sure you get the edges. You really don't want to see any flat surface, and make it as random as possible. Try not to create any type of patterns. Okay, and now we're going to lift this, bring in our Santa hat, and we're just going to more or less see how much we need. So remember, this should not be glued right here, the top of the hat. So we just want to more or less see how much we're going to need. The brim should reach all the way to the green circle. So mark with your fingernail or your fingertip where you'll need to cut. Okay, so I've made my marks. I'm going to go ahead and take my blade. And it would help if you actually cut with the side that has the blade on it. Okay. And since I've been handling it, I'm going to make a few more little dents here. And now let's test it out. You want the bottom of the fluffy brim to be right over the edge of his eyes. Okay. Just like that. How cute is that? Alright. So now what we're going to do is pinch the ends here to make sure that it's nice and flat and that it's going to reach all the way to your green circle. Take your glue and add a little bit of glue. Especially on the edges, because you want to seal the gap between the green fondant circle and the white fluffy brim here. Place it right above his eyes, hold it in place, and press that down. And you want the brim of the hat to go right over the top of his beard. Okay? Hopefully you can see his eyes. And I like to take my blade tool and just press in the sides. Okay. So cute. Now you can finally take a little bit of glue and let's glue the top of his hat. Put a little bit of glue where you know it's going to be touching that little white fluffy brim. And a little bit underneath where it'll be touching the circle. And press it down. Okay? Okay, now let's make this little white fluffy ball at the end of his hat. So take a little bit of white gum paste, a little bit bigger than a pea-sized shape. Now you're gonna want the pointy end of the hat to actually go into the ball. So what I like to do is take the ball, take my ball tool, and I'm going to make a hole in the ball. Hold the ball and just widen it so that you know the tip of the hat is gonna fit in there. Okay. Take your glue and just put a little tiny bit of glue there. And also at the bottom, that's gonna be touching the green circle. And then go ahead and stick the little tip of the hat right in there. And press it in place. Now let's take our ball tool and make some little dents in this ball so that it looks fluffy. Let's add a little bit of shimmer to the hat, the little ball, and his beard. So for that, we're gonna take our pearl dust and take your little brush for your pearl dust and just put a tiny little bit of pearl dust in your cap. You don't need a lot. And if you get it on the red, that's okay. It looks really pretty. Okay, and just pearl dust his little mustache, the beard, Brim, the fluffy ball. These are so much fun to make. All you need is some Christmas music in the background, some eggnog. That's it. How cute does that look?
Don't forget to sing along with the music.
Does that look cute?
Looks beautiful.
Okay, now last but not least, we're gonna add a little bit of, and you don't have to, I just love the way this looks. To me, it looks super, super adorable. I love adding a little white dot to his nose so it looks like his nose is shiny. Okay, so we're gonna take our gel food coloring, shake it so that you get a tiny little bit in the cap, and for this you will take your pen and use the larger end of the pen. Dip it in the gel food coloring to where you just pick up a little circle or a little blob of gel food color and then just dab it right on his nose. How cute is that? Okay, look at your Santa from all angles and make sure that you can see his eyes. So there is our Santa, and now Santa has a twin brother. And the Santa on the left is a little bit older and heavier, but still just as cute. So I hope you guys had fun and enjoyed learning how to make your little Santa Claus toppers.
Ho, 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 ho. Ho, 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 ho.
Merry Christmas, everybody. God bless you, and thank you for being a Crazy Cool subscriber. Take care. Bye-bye.
God bless y'all.